tree pose. Standing on both feet, shift your weight onto your right leg and lift your left heel off the floor. Prop your heel against your right ankle or on your calf, or for more balanced practice, on the inside of your right thigh. Engage your core to stay balanced, and then slowly lift your arms overhead into a wide Y. Press your right foot into your left inner thigh, and focus on your balance coming from your core. Focus on your breath, and let your shoulders drop down your back. Feel lightness from the bottom of your foot all the way to the crown of your head. If you find you lose balance, reconnect to your deep core muscles again. Remain steady in your balance by pressing your left foot into your right thigh and your right thigh back into your left. Bring your hands back in front of your chest and slowly release your left foot back to the floor, releasing your hands to your hips to reset. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Bring your right heel to your ankle, to your left shin, or to the inner thigh of your left leg. Press your hands together in front of your chest and then extend your arms overhead, remaining tall through the crown of your head, pressing lightly through your feet all the way up through the crown. To maintain steadiness in your balance, press your right foot into your left thigh and resist your left thigh into your right foot. Engage your core and breathe into the openness of your back. Maintain the steadiness of your balance by thinking of your foot as a root, pressing the front, middle, and back of your foot into the floor and growing from there. Bring your hands in front of your chest, release your right foot down to the ground, and come back to Tadasana. Triangle pose. Step your feet wide apart, and then turn your left toes out towards the side of your mat and your right toes in about 45 degrees. Extend your arms out to the sides, and then deepen your left hip crease as you shift forward towards your left leg. Extend your left arm and take your left hand down to the block that's behind your left foot. Feel free to prop it up higher if you need extra support. Circle your right arm forward and up towards the ceiling. You can keep looking straight forward or choose to look up at your fingertips. If this causes strain in your neck, you can remain looking forward. Deepen your breath. Both legs remain straight here, but not locked. Press down equally through both feet, pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Lift the kneecaps of both legs, and think of dropping your left hip crease back towards the wall behind you. From there, elongate your spine out of your hips, and then rotate your shoulders from your upper back. Your spine stays long and steady through the whole pose. Pressing through your right foot, come all the way back up to stand, and drop your hands, turn your feet back to parallel, and shift to the other side. Right toes turning out, left toes turning in, keeping both legs straight, elongate your arms out, and then deepen your right hip crease back as you reach forward and reach down towards the block behind your right foot. You can take that block higher if you need more support, and then circle your left arm all the way around and up towards the ceiling, looking up at your top hand if it feels comfortable, or looking straight forward. Press both feet equally down into the floor, pressing even more through the back of the left heel. Lift your kneecaps, let your hips deepen, deepening that right hip crease back towards the wall behind you, letting your spine elongate out of your hips. Remain connected to your core muscles as you rotate your chest open from your upper back, reaching equally through the right and the left arm. Breathe here into the strength of your legs. Press through your back leg, coming all the way up to stand. Drop your arms, turn your toes back to center, and walk your feet back to Tadasana. Warrior Two pose. Moving your mat to the wall, place your block against the wall, place your right foot on the block, and slide your left leg back to a Warrior Two position. Shift your hips slightly forward and the right knee out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Press through your back leg, and then take your right hand to the wall, left arm extended back towards the wall behind you. As you are here, press your feet down into the floor and into the block from the outer edges of your feet. Your front knee bends so that the front thigh is parallel to the floor. Your back thigh presses back towards the wall behind you, and your tailbone slightly tucks under to give your spine space to lift out of your hips. Pressing your right hand into the wall helps you keep your spine nice and straight. And think of reaching in opposite directions with your arms, elongating on your inhale and going deeper on your exhale. Straighten your front leg, slide your left leg up, and then shift your block over to the other side. Take your left foot onto the block, right leg back, right toes spin in 45 degrees. Bend your left knee as you press your left knee towards the pinky toe side of your foot. Take your left hand to the wall, and then open your chest, extend your right arm back. Press your feet down into the floor from the outer edges of your feet and let that strength radiate up all the way to your hips. Engage your hips as you press down into the floor and then let your spine elongate out of your hips. Press out and away with your arms as you breathe here. Imagine you have a string attached to the top of your head from your tailbone that is elongating your entire spine. Breathe in, creating space in your back and more connection in the front body. Press your back foot into the floor to come up, step off of the block, and come to Tadasana. Side angle pose. Step your feet wider than hip distance apart and turn your left toes out and right toes in. Bend your right knee over your right ankle, pressing the knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Tuck your tailbone under to create more space in your back, arms out. Take your left hand into your left hip crease, extend forward past your bottom leg. Take the bottom hand to the block and then circle your right arm all the way up to your ear. Press your feet equally into the floor, engaging the outer edges of your feet. Lift your inner arches here. Press your back leg into the floor. Press your front leg out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Create space in your left hip so you find some elongation through your spine. And then think of lifting from the crown of your head as if you had a line from the crown of your head down to your tailbone. Get nice and long. Stay light on your left hand and let the legs do the majority of the work. Press down through your back leg, circle the arms up, drop your hands, and then spin your legs to the other direction. Right toes turn out, left toes turn in. Bending your right knee, press out through the outer edge of your back foot and then tuck your tailbone under, elongate your arms out to the sides. Deepen the right hip crease, reach past your bottom leg, take the right hand down to the block behind your right knee, and then circle your left arm all the way in front of your face and up towards your ear. Starting at the feet, press down through the feet, lift the inner arches, press through the outer edges of the feet, and let that strength radiate all the way up into your legs and into your hips. Keep deepening that right hip crease back as you open your chest and elongate through the left fingertips. Stay light on your right hand and let your breath move into your back. Think of a line from the crown of your head down to your tailbone and all the way out through your left foot. Press through your back leg, come all the way up to stand. Straightening both legs, turn your toes back to face forward, heel toe your feet together, and come back to stand in Tadasana. Rotated triangle pose. Come to stand at the top of your mat on the inside of one of your blocks. Take your hands on your hips and step your right leg back about 2 or 3 feet back with your right toes turned slightly in, pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Lift your right arm towards the ceiling, take your left hand into your left hip crease, and deepen that left hip crease as you reach forward, taking the right hand down to the block on the inside of your foot. Press your tailbone back, elongate through your spine, and then once you have a flat back, take your hand on your back and slowly start to rotate your chest open from your upper back. Your legs stay straight in this position, and you want to make sure that the twist is happening in your upper back, not in your lower back. Rely on your legs for your strength here. Keep pressing that left hip back towards the wall behind you, engaging in your core, and letting your chest open from your upper back. Take the back of your head back towards the wall behind you and think of elongating from the crown of your head all the way down through your tailbone. When you're ready to release, rotate your chest back towards the floor, press through your back leg, come all the way up to stand, step your right foot forward to meet your left, and we'll move to the other side. Stepping on the inside of your block, take your hands on your hips, stepping your left leg back. Spin your left heel down towards the floor and keep both legs straight. Lift your left arm towards the ceiling. Take your right hand into your right hip crease and deepen that right hip crease as you reach forward with your left hand. Take your left hand onto the block. Elongate your spine here before you start twisting. Take your hand onto your back and then slowly open your chest from your upper back. So keep pressing your feet down into the floor to give you that resistance to help you open more from your upper back. Send your right hip back towards the wall behind you to make sure that your low back is staying nice and steady. Create a long line from the crown of your head to your tailbone and think of rotating in your upper back and your chest. Find the counteraction of pressing your feet into the floor and opening from your chest. Full deep breaths, staying nice and light on your left hand. When you're ready to come out, drop your chest towards the floor, press through your back leg, come all the way up to stand from your back hip, and come to stand at the top of your mat in Tadasana. Baby Cobra pose. Coming down onto the floor, lay your hands right by your shoulders and slide them back so they're right around the bottom of your rib cage. Keep your forehead on the floor and then soften your hips down into the floor. Roll your shoulder blades together so your inner elbows are pressing towards one another, and then press your hands down into the floor. Slowly lift your head off the floor, keeping your chin tucked and the back of your neck nice and long. Think of a long line coming out of the crown of your head. We want to keep space in the back of the neck rather than crunching and craning the chin up. Press your hands down into the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Imagine you had a tennis ball between your shoulder blades that you were trying to squeeze. Keep your legs soft but pressing down into the floor. Relax your glutes. Let your upper body do the majority of the work. If you feel this in your lower back, lightly press your pubic bone into the floor to create more space in your back. To come down, release your head to the floor, relax your arms by your sides, turn your head to one side, and breathe. Bridge pose. Have a blanket nearby that you can lay at the top of your mat and then roll down onto your back so your neck and your shoulders are supported. Place your feet down on the floor just below your knees, and then draw your shoulders underneath you as you lift your hips towards the ceiling. You can hold onto the edges of the mat and give a gentle pull on the mat, or you can leave your hands flat on the floor. Press your upper arms into the floor, press the back of your head into the floor, and then gently draw your heels back towards your hips as if you were trying to make a wrinkle in your mat. Scoop your tailbone towards the ceiling and create space in your lower back. Slowly lower your hips to the floor and relax. Hand to big toe pose. Laying on your back, take a strap around the ball of your right foot and straighten your leg towards the ceiling. Keep a little space in your low back. You might have to bend your knee just a little bit to make sure you feel the stretch in the back of the thigh. But make sure you're keeping your spine nice and straight. Draw your shoulders down your back and let the weight of your arms pull on your leg in resistance to pressing your heel towards the ceiling. As you're breathing, breathe into your back and extend the left leg all the way out on the floor, flexing through the toes, finding your breath expansive in your back body. Press your right heel toward the ceiling from the back of your hip. Take both ends of the belt in your right hand and slowly open the leg out to the right, resisting with the left thigh on the floor. You may feel your core start to work here to stabilize your entire spine on the floor, and that's a good thing. Press through the heel of the right foot and even through the instep of your right foot toward the wall away from you. Breathe here into the inner thigh, keeping your spine nice and long and straight as you're breathing. Breathe into your back body, finding that expansiveness into your back. Engage your core muscles to bring your right leg back over your hips, and then we'll switch sides to the left. Take the strap onto your left foot around the ball of the foot. Press the heel towards the ceiling, keeping your spine long and your shoulders relaxed down your back. Again, letting the weight of your arms pull your foot towards your chest. You can extend the right leg out along the floor and flex your right foot. Think of pressing through both heels, the right heel forward towards the wall in front of you and the left heel towards the ceiling. Create space in your back as you're breathing. Release your shoulders down and feel the stretch in the back of your left thigh. Full deep breaths here, allowing some release in that outer left hip. Take both ends of the strap in your left hand and slowly take the leg out to the left side of your mat without letting your hips wiggle. So use your core muscles to stabilize here. And find your breath into your back body. Press your left heel away from your hips and even turn your left toes towards the floor, pressing into the instep of the foot in the belt. Relax your shoulders down your back, relax your jaw. Stay engaged in your legs and in your core, allowing for space and roominess in your back as you breathe. Bring your leg back up through the center, and we'll take the belt off and rest both feet on the floor. Marichi's pose. Sitting on your hips, sit nice and tall. If you find that you round in your lower back, you can pad underneath your hips with a blanket or a block, which will help you get more length in your low back and help protect your low back spine as you're doing this twist. Draw your left knee into your chest and bring the left foot flat to your floor as close to your hips as you can. Sit nice and tall through your hips, and then lift your chest, pull against your left knee and pull your chest up. Now take your right arm around your left leg and slowly twist, twisting through your upper back. If it's available to you, you can take the elbow on the outside of your knee and then circle the left arm out, around, and back towards the wall behind you. A nice addition to this stretch is turning your head back towards the back arm and even letting your eyes drift further beyond the twist. It gives you a little bit of vestibular work here as well. If you feel more comfortable with your head facing straight forward, that is great too. The stretch here and the twist comes from your upper back. So I want you to stay very still and very long in your lower back and focus on opening from your sternum back through your thoracic spine. Imagine growing long from your tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. And then slowly unravel, come back to center and extend your left leg forward. Draw your right knee into your chest, pull that heel as close to your hips as you can. Encourage your lower back to lengthen by lifting your chest and pulling your right knee into your chest. Find the rotation in your upper back and snuggle your left arm on the outside of your right knee if it's available to you, and then circle your right arm up and over. Find the length in your low back and the twist from your upper back. If it feels good, you can turn your head towards the right side, even taking your eyes to the side as well to get that vestibular practice, or you can keep your head facing straight forward. The most important thing here is length in your low back, lengthening from your tailbone to the crown of your head, and finding the twist through your upper back. Press your feet down into the floor to find that energy moving from your feet all the way through your hips and through the crown of your head. Full deep breaths here. As you inhale, grow longer, and as you exhale, deepen in the twist. Slowly come out of the twist and come to a seated position. Lord of the Fishes pose. From this tall seated position, bend your left knee and bring the left heel underneath your right hip. Draw your right knee into your chest and sit tall as you pull the knee in. Sitting tall through the crown of the head. Reach your left arm up overhead and then over across your right knee, lifting your chest as you rotate. Reach your right arm forward and around behind your right hip, sitting tall from your lower back all the way through the crown of the head. If you would like to turn your head to the side, you can find that extra vestibular work in your eyes by looking over your right shoulder, or you can stay facing straight forward. Keep your lower back spine nice and long. As you inhale, lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, rotate open towards the right side of your hip. Press down equally through both feet to feel that energy exchange from your hips all the way out through the crown of the head. Slowly unwind and rotate back to center, lifting your chest high, and then switching sides. Bending your right knee, taking your right heel underneath your left hip, crossing the left foot over, sitting tall, start to twist from your upper back, keeping your lower back nice and quiet. Take the right elbow on the outside of your left knee and slowly rotate through your upper back. Reach your left arm up and over towards the left side of your hip, choosing to look over your left shoulder if that feels accessible to you, or leaving your head facing straight forward. Find the length in your low back, pressing your tailbone into the floor and finding length from your lower back up through your upper spine and out through the crown of your head. Find the rotation and the twist in your upper back, so you're using your shoulder muscles to help you open and rotate. Breathe here fully, inhaling into your back body, exhaling and deepening the twist. Slowly come out of the twist and draw your left knee towards your chest. Corpse pose, Shavasana. Come to lay on your back and bring a blanket or a pillow with you. If you have lower back tightness or you'd like a little more release underneath your low back, you can place the blanket underneath your knees for support. And then let your shoulders open, let the arms separate from your hips, let your feet be apart and fully released on the floor. Take your attention to the back of your head and press the back of your head lightly into the floor, elongating through your neck. Relax your jaw. Let your teeth separate and let the tongue fall to the back of your throat. Relax the front of your neck, your shoulders. Let your shoulder blades be soft and heavy on the floor, and let your breath be natural and soft. Fully release your hips down, right hip, left hip. Let your pelvis feel very heavy and grounded on the floor. Let your thighs release and let your knees feel heavy on the floor or on the blanket that is underneath you. Release your calves into the floor and let your legs be soft and your feet heavy. Take a few more moments here to settle into your breath and just be. Letting your body appreciate all the benefits that you've given it today. Before you start to move back into your day, you can just be here right now. When you are ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring the energy back to your body, placing your feet flat on the floor, rolling to your side and coming up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands in front of your chest and take a few breaths here just to thank yourself for showing up today. Thank you so very much.